Hello everyone, Mark Major here, and we are located at the Action Figure-atorium. I am a toy collector as well as a studio owner who has been involved most of his life in sales and marketing, and so I always enjoy weighing in from sort of the marketing business side on anything related to the toy industry. I find it kind of fascinating, a lot of fun to talk about, and some people like to listen to these somewhat autistic ramblings, and so you're going to get a full dose today. Now, if you have been paying attention to current events involving the toy industry, then you know about the financial problems of Hasbro. Hasbro has been losing a lot of money, not just this year, not just the 2023 end of year, but also 2022, and it's only gotten worse. There is, in fact, people kicking around the term of possible bankruptcy. And is this even a possibility? Well, it could happen. So we're going to talk about this today. I'm going to go through some articles. We're going to look at some other toy companies of the past and what they did and kind of project what might be happening for Hasbro in the future. So everybody strap on the leather, hold on tight. We're going to cut over here to a couple of news articles. This is Yahoo Finance. I just want to show for the casual viewer who may not believe what I'm saying. If you go to this article here, they go through all this sort of business stats of Hasbro, and they have mentioned that Hasbro has faced a $1.3 billion loss for the year of 2023. What's pretty wild about that is, in fact, in 2022, they also posted a loss, only $129 million, which seems like nothing compared to losing over $1 billion with a B. In fact, there's another site here. This is the Alpha Street website, and they have an even better sort of breakdown of the financials in terms of like nice charts and graphs, and you can see the net loss there of $1.06 billion versus a revenue of $1.28 billion, meaning these guys are still bringing in over $1 billion in revenue, but they're spending about that much as well. So we then see websites such as these guys, the Macro Access site, as well as others who go through, also laying out some nice sort of charts and graphs, etc., of all their assets and breaking down and giving the probability of bankruptcy, which they're putting at less than 15. I've seen other sites put it at about 25 or less, somewhere in there. So at this point, we need to talk a little bit about what companies do, big companies like this, when they are spending more money than they are making. All right, so when that happens, you have two choices. You can either increase the amount of money that's coming in so that more money comes in versus money going out, or you get rid of overhead of money going out, and what that usually means is you get rid of employees. You get rid of salaries, and you cut anything that is underperforming. If there's departments or lines or individuals or excessive costs, you get rid of them because the future is uncertain as far as making money. I mean, that's the whole point of the company. Everyone in the company is always trying to make money. They're always trying to put more money in the tank, and that's always going to be the goal. But when you are spending more than what you are making, there's only one way out, and that is to cut overhead. Now, the way you do that is you hire a guy or even a new executive team, right, new CEO, to come in and start making layoffs, start making cuts. And in fact, what you do is when you bring this guy in, you actually put in his contract that he needs to reduce overhead and reduce overhead by X amount to get it in line with what they're spending. And if he does that, right, his incentive, he gets a bonus. He gets a cash bonus, okay? And we see this over and over and over again. Company A lays off 1,000 employees. Chief executive gets a bonus. Hasbro lays off 1,000 employees. chief operating officer gets a bonus. Financial officer gets a bonus. Tech officer gets a bonus. The more people they lay off, the more bonuses they get. And you'll see people making outcry videos saying, how can you lay off thousands of people while giving out millions of dollars to executives who are firing people? Well, it's because their contract is about them laying off people. And the only way they can get their bonus is if they lay off people. So if they bring in a new guy and he's supposed to lay off people and he says, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to bring back the hula hoop. We haven't seen the hula hoop in a long time. It's coming back. It's popular at Burning Man. People are going to love these things. They bring back the hula hoop. Sales go up. All of a sudden they're bringing in more money than they're losing. Well, guess what? He wouldn't get the bonuses, would he? Because the contract specifically says you need to lay off people. So anytime you see someone making a post on like Facebook or Twitter or making a YouTube video where they're outraged over an executive getting huge bonuses, gratuitous amounts of millions of dollars while people's jobs are getting cut around Christmas, well, it's because that is what his contract is for. He is just doing his job. It is not his job to make the revenue go up. It's his job to make the spending down according to the contract, all right? So let's look at a couple of things from the past to see if they might guide us in the future. Here's something that you guys might have seen. Check this out. After paying $4 billion with a B for E1, Entertainment One, Hasbro sells its TV and movie business for $500 million. So here is where they took a huge write-down. They put out a giant amount of cash to acquire this property that was going to be the studio, and they ended up having to sell it off because they need money to plug the debt that they have from hemorrhaging low sales. They had to get rid of it. Now, where have we seen something like this before in the past? Let's roll back to 2000. And this is on an old article of CNN Money when things looked like ancient HTML. And I don't know if you guys know this or not, but in 99, I think it was, 98, 99, Mattel purchased a company called The Learning Company. It was essentially a software company, a Canadian software company that had acquired a whole bunch of educational software titles. And the whole thing was packaged and sold to Mattel, who paid $3.5 billion in 1999 for this. Not 2022 or 23. 99, they paid $3.5 billion, and then they sold it for $430 million. This is almost the exact same numbers as this Hasbro E1 deal. Do you guys know about this? Is this something new that you've never heard of before? Have you heard of this Mattel buying the Learning Company for billions of dollars and getting rid of it? Well, side note, the Learning Company was a company that was started and owned partially by Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank. And some people, I don't know who, but some people have suggested that maybe the Learning Company had kind of cooked the books a little bit when they sold it to Mattel. Anyways, they took a huge loss on this and had to sell it off, much like Hasbro was forced to sell their E1 because they needed cash to stay solvent, right? However, I would like to point out that Mattel is still in the game. They're still going, even after that huge, crazy sale in 2000, even though everyone was predicting they were going to go bankrupt, even though people were predicting that they weren't going to come back. They've come back. They've come back many, many, many times. And in fact, we're going to talk about another company that actually did go bankrupt and what happened. Okay, little quiz for you guys. I'm going to name 3 comic book companies. Try and guess which one went out of business. DC Comics, Marvel Comics, Image Comics, right? DC, Marvel, Image. 3 big names. Who went out of business? Who went bankrupt? Well, the answer is Marvel Comics went out of business. And what happened? They were purchased. Who bought them? Toy Biz. Toy Biz bought Marvel Comics. What happened when Toy Biz bought Marvel Comics? Toy Biz changed its name. They changed their name to Marvel. That's right. The Marvel that we have today, the one that is owned by Disney, the one that makes all those movies, the one that licensed toys to Hasbro, that's actually Toy Biz. And Toy Biz was able to purchase Marvel when they went bankrupt. And so in some cases, the bankruptcy seems to have helped Marvel, because there's a good chance that if they hadn't gone bankrupt, they would be nowhere today. They would be absolutely nowhere. All right, let's talk about another possibility. The reality of toy companies is this. Anything we've learned is that trends come and go. Toy lines do great, and then they don't. He-Man Masters of the Universe was a huge brand in the 80s for Mattel. It was bigger than Barbie. And then one day, like a cliff, it was gone. It didn't exist anymore. They didn't make any He-Man stuff for, I don't know, about 12, 13, 14 years, until the 2000 they tried bringing it back again. And it's taken even a little bit longer to bring it back to where we now have multiple Netflix streaming shows, multiple toy lines, etc. like that. Big part of the time, people thought it was completely dead and was never, ever, ever, ever going to come back. But guess what? Comes around in circles. Same thing with stuff like G.I. Joe. G.I. Joe was really big in the 80s. It kind of like went down a little bit, even though the toys got a little better when they went from the O-ring to the more like better articulated, more modern type of toys. Well, guess what? It's bounced back already. Classifieds, which isn't really big enough to even be mentioned on most of the Hasbro filings, it's still a popular line. It's still in the milieu. It's still going strong. It still does make money. And so these things never, ever really die. Even if Hasbro goes bankrupt, G.I. Joe will still keep going. Even if Mattel went bankrupt, Barbie would still keep on going. Masters of the Universe would still keep on going. What does happen, though, is when one of these toy lines finally does die out, another one will just magically appear to bail them out. Do we need an example? Sure, why not? There are plenty of them out there, but let's just give you one. Bionicle. Does anybody know this story? At one point, Lego, yes, Lego was on the brink of going out of business. Why? Because people can only absorb so much goddamn Lego, okay? People can only absorb so much goddamn Harry Potter. You can only take so much of these toy lines. People can only absorb so much Star Wars, although, I would think that would be the one that would, you could absorb the most. Turns out you can only absorb so much of this stuff over a certain period of time, and that includes brands like Lego. But here we go. Bionicle saved Lego, and this is a well-known story within the toy business side of things. People use this as a case study all the time. This is a marketing analysis on the Medium website. The article is only available, the full article is only available to members, but you can find lots and lots of people who have written about Bionicle and how it saved Lego, that kind of thing. And we see this over and over and over again. So if you think Hasbro is going bankrupt, if you think they're down and out, if you think they're going to be selling off properties and stuff, here's what's going to happen. If they haven't brought in a new CEO, they're going to soon, or some sort of team, or some sort of a financial officer, or somebody who's got the guts to fire a lot of people, right? Because if we're talking like $1 billion loss, that's, you're not just taking away the snacks in the cafeteria. There is no cafeteria at that point, okay? They're going to get rid of all this stuff. They're going to get rid of anything that's not making money, and they're going to tighten the belts, and they're going to get back on track, but they're going to come up with something that's going to be the next thing that saves them and gets them across the line and keeps them going for like another 10, 15 years. And I don't know, I'm going to guess 6-inch O-ring figures. Not really a guess. I'm not putting any money on that. Anyways, Thanks to everybody who made it this far into the video. I thank each and every one of you. And as always, please stay charged.